Hello, and welcome to the Sacred Light Collective podcast. You are with Ali. And welcome again, my dear friends, to another episode where I want to share a little bit more about the concept of reactivity versus allowing. And I touched on this a little bit in the last episode as it was really coming into my awareness of how much reactivity was playing out in my day-to-day life and how I was really approaching life from this reactive standpoint, this reactive perspective, reactive state of being. And this was being emphasized or emphasizing the survival response coming through my nervous system and my body. And so anytime I was experiencing stress or anything outside of the comfortable, it could have been good or bad. Like, if we talk in those terms, it could have been a high or a low. And it was still actually triggering somewhat through my nervous system. And I'd never really picked up on this before, just how reactive I was to the experience and to the external, and how I let that dictate my inner state of being. And so over the last week or two, as I've become really aware of that, and I've leaned into the guidance that was coming through for me about allowing life to move with me, to move through me, and to move for me. So as I've been walking this path, I've really realized how powerful this piece of awareness is, and just how transformative it is. Just this simple act of allowing life to move with us, to move through us, to move us, and how it can really change the state of being within you, your foundation, your body, your nervous system as well. And I can really feel the more I'm walking this path, the more that my nervous system is resetting and recalibrating to now align to this more neutral state of being, a more balanced state of being. I've just been observing how there's been a lot more emotional regulation in my body as well, and in my mind, and just in my general state of being. And there's that line or the quote that you will often come across where life is happening for you, not to you. And I think that's something that's been on repeat in my awareness, my field this week, about leaning into experiences that are creating some resistance or some reactivity, and how can I allow this to happen for me? And that's why I really wanted to bring this forward into this episode and bring it into an episode on its own. I'm really finding a lot of conversations again that I'm having with friends and community members and clients this week, that noticing just how much this is a common thread, and how whatever we might be discussing or the experience the person is happening, I'm really being led to share in just sharing my experience with this reactivity and how reactive we are, and how that it kind of sneaks up on you a little bit, that you sometimes are not even aware of just how reactive you are being, or reactive to life. And so there's been a lot of conversation of how can you allow more change? How can you allow more flow? And how can you receive without reacting? How can you just simply let it be? So this really feels like quite a foundational piece as we're moving with the energies, the current energies, as we are moving from the eclipse, or between eclipses, really. And I know a lot of us are really feeling the energies intensely at this time. And we are in a bit of this in-between state where a lot of this stuff is coming up, isn't it? A lot of shadow, a lot of resistance, and it's giving us somewhat like a heavy feeling, a heaviness. A lot of people are reporting, feeling the heavy energy. And so a common question that people are asking me is, how can I move with this energy? How can I be with this energy? Or how can I find peace when I'm in this resistance, in this heaviness? And I feel like it comes back to what we've been speaking into of the last few episodes here, with my guides and your guides sharing, our guides sharing, that we are invited to be with the resistance or the uncomfortableness. We're invited to allow it, right? To allow it in. Are you able to just meet it, to hold it, to see it? to feel what's there, because it's not even necessarily about moving through anything at the moment. This between eclipse state is this feeling of holding that, maybe holding the tension a little bit, rather than pushing our way through or retreating back. It's just being in it, just allowing it to be there. And when we start to shift in the frequency of allowing, it also takes some of the heat out of it. It just allows some of that neutrality to come forward and just say, okay, well, I'm going to allow this to be here. I'm going to accept that it's here for now and not make it mean anything more. The mind, the ego wants to make meaning of these things and wants to draw it out. So we can get lost in that narrative sometimes. So I would just invite you to sit with allowing, just allowing it to be there. And also with the eclipse energy, we do have the opportunity to really go a little deeper. And so if you can allow yourself to see, to feel, to hold whatever this resistance is, whatever's creating the reactivity, whatever is the tension that is coming forward, it's an opportunity to really bring a little more light to whatever is needing to be seen. Because the pathway is really about bringing this into your awareness, bringing it to the light, accessing some of those parts of you that perhaps you haven't met before. Perhaps you haven't wanted to meet them before. And we're not asking you to do anything with that. We're just saying simply bring it to your awareness. As I said, in the simple awareness of me recognizing that my state of being was reactive rather than allowing. And it was like as soon as I became aware of that, when I felt the resistance, when I felt myself reacting, I was just able to stop and pause and to just be with it, to allow it. And, there were occasions where it felt timely to say to myself, okay, how can I allow this experience? How can I allow the situation to move through me? How can I see that this is happening for me? How can I come into alignment with it? And it sounds so simple when I say it like that, but really that was what shifted so much for me in this last week in particular, the way I have met life. And it's empowered me as I've come through these situations and experience. I have had this opportunity to meet life in a different way, to take a different perspective and to not react to everything, to find some emotional regulation and balance in my body and my nervous system and my mind. And to really feel, to see that everything is happening for me. And yes, there will be moments of uncomfortableness, or needing to do something new that requires us to summon up a bit of courage or inner strength, or to say something that we wouldn't normally say, or whatever it might be. But when you step through that and when you take that little action, it is really so empowering, and it makes it easier the next time that comes along, and you just keep building. As I say, it's always like that analogy of building the foundation of a house, the one brick, one brick, one brick at a time. And so it was really on my heart to share this with you because, as I said, when I noticed how I was connecting with people over the week and what was coming through as common themes in client sessions, it is really working with the nervous system. It's working with our integration and processing of stress or fear, whatever you want to call that, or the emotion that leads to that. And so I've really had this kind of epiphany of like how we can really deepen that practice. So in the body work that I use with my kinesiology tools, in the energetic work that we share with, the guides and spirit, it's now also bringing this like additional puzzle piece to the picture of bringing in the action of allowing and beginning to move with that state of the experiences of life shifting us, allowing life to move through us. And what I will say is that I've heard this before, and I've heard variations of the way people have tapped into this, that life is an experiential journey. And I've even used those words before, but there's something that's landing really different. It's time, my friends. It is really time for us to embody this, to really take it in more deeply. And that's why I wanted this episode to be about this and this alone, because if nothing else, I want you to take the seed that I am planting here for you, and just allow that to be there. Allow this to be in your awareness. And it may not necessarily land or fully resonate right now as you are listening, but save this, remember this, because there will be a time, and I feel like in the not too distant future, where you will come into this, you will receive this, and you will be ready to step into allowing life to move through you, allowing yourself to move with life, to step into the flow, to step into more receivership, with more welcoming, without labeling those experiences as good or bad or hard or challenging. I mean, how many times have you said or heard someone say, "Oh, it's just so hard. This is so challenging." Like, we tell ourselves this story and the mind picks it up and says, "Yep, it's hard. Yep, this is challenging. Yep, let's avoid it. Let's procrastinate or distract ourselves, or, go escape by binge watching something on Netflix, tucking it away somewhere in the body for later and going off and just forgetting about it." All of that is adding to the reactivity that is building in your energy, your body, your frequency overall. I feel so much nervous system regulation and calibration is happening for us at the moment, and in different ways, depending on where we are and what we're experiencing. But there are a lot of interdimensional beings that are assisting us with these upgrades to our bodies, because as we are being called to embody more of our higher consciousness, our higher self in physical form. And that's been a strong theme for me, navigating that personally, but also to support you. That feels very much my mission at the moment, is bringing this forward and supporting you to step into this empowered version of you. And as we do that, we need the support of our bodies and our nervous system and our brains to realign, to allow this to be received, to hold this higher frequency, to hold more, to embody more, and to allow the expansion, the stretching a little bit more than what we have been used to, allowing for that change, that transformation to occur with more ease and more comfort. And so I would just like to invite you here, as we're really connecting into this energy of transforming reactivity into an allowing state of being, or a receiving state of being, whatever feels right for you. Allowing has been the first step for me personally, and I think that has helped to bring into my awareness and to really assist with that shift. But I would just invite you, if you have the time and space now, wherever you are receiving this, or pause and come back, to just place a hand on your heart, on your chest, and take a deep breath in. And as you exhale out, sighing out, really sighing out through the body, allowing your awareness to really come down into the heart space as you let that exhale go. And that might take a couple of breaths. So just continuing with the breaths and going really gently and deeply sighing down into your body. Allowing yourself to come into your heart center, into your body. And I want to invite you to connect within to where you might be holding some resistance or some tension, where there might be reactivity in your body or your energy field. And there might be something that's dropping into your awareness, to your mind, And it might have when we started talking about this at the beginning of the episode. So bring that in and feel it in the body. Feel where that is in the body. Feel any tension, any tightness, any resistance in the body or your energy field. Just simply observing it, noticing it, holding it. As I tune in, I'm really feeling a lot around the heart at the moment, around the front and the back of the heart. So just breathing and allowing yourself to feel in through the heart and out through the heart. There is absolutely no rush here. All we are doing is simply slowing down and creating space for you to bring this into your awareness. To notice what you're feeling, where you feel it. Take any memory or anything in your mind, the situation or experience, the place of reactivity for you. Find it in your body, your energy field. Perhaps you even connect to an age. Is there an inner child, an inner teen that needs to come into this picture too? And I simply want you to breathe and feel that in your body. Breathe and feel, allowing yourself to drop into that feeling. Allow, if it feels like you can, allow yourself to drop into the sensations, the parts of the body, your energy field. I invite you to connect even a little more deeply, allowing it to be there, allowing it to be present, and breathing. Notice if the breathing is becoming a little restricted, if it's not flowing as well on the inhale or the exhale, and simply notice, simply observe, and allow it to be there. And continue as you can, the nice deep, slow inhale, deep, slow, and long exhale, taking the breath down the length of the body, letting it go out through the soles of the feet. Connecting with the experience, the situation, the emotion, the relationship, whatever it is that's coming up through this reactivity, the tightness, the tension, and allowing it to simply be felt or even just seen. For some, I feel like it is enough that you just know what this is for now and be okay with just simply knowing. Because you might be like me and find that that was quite surprising, maybe a little confronting. So allow simple awareness to be present. Simple knowing. Because in this presence, we are creating with the resistance, the tension, the point of reactivity. You are allowing yourself to receive this now as an opportunity. You are allowing yourself to consider new perspectives, new ways of receiving within you. Perhaps even you're receiving awareness, you're receiving inner wisdom on a new way of being, a new action step. One that is being received to bring you into your desired state of being, the higher version of you, the person that you are becoming. Simply allowing the possibility that this experience or that life itself is here to open you to more of your true self, your true state of being. Now you might desire to sit here, to be in this state of allowing and receiving for a little bit longer. You might desire to come back to this. You might also find you need to do this multiple times until you can start to feel that energy of allowing. Until you can feel the softening of any tightness or tension. And maybe you're already experiencing that now. Maybe you can feel that little piece of surrender letting go within the heart. The leaning in, the sigh, the drop of the shoulders, the swallow, the yawn. The signal from the body that you are letting go, that you are simply dropping into a state of allowing and receiving, into a state of being. So, my dear friends, this is just a simple step to bring awareness to this for you, to bring a simple practice in to start becoming aware of what is there and how to quite simply let it be there, to sit in presence with it and to breathe. The power of the breath is working with the body, the brain, the nervous system as a whole, and creating the flow, shifting the stagnant energy, the stuck energy, and creating flow. I feel like that this is a topic that we may explore more. Let's see what the next week brings us. But I hope that this has offered you a new perspective. Perhaps it's resonated with where you are and what is here for you now. Or maybe this is the seed and you'll come back to this. You'll remember this at the time that that seed is ready to sprout. Thank you for sharing in this journey with me. I really am deeply grateful for you and the Sacred Light Collective in this community that I desire to build and to support each other, to walk the way together. It means so much to me when you share your takeaways, when you share what resonates. So please feel free to like, to subscribe, to share, to comment if you are on YouTube, or contact me directly. As I said, I always love hearing how this lands for you and what resonates and what your takeaways are. And as always, the light, the love, the divinity within me honors the light, the love, the divinity within you. Namaste.